Yep, I'm giving it a second. All right, you're alive.
All right, welcome to the dating game. I'm Sean, your host. We're doing our first ever it's our second live sit down, a live panel. We've got a couple of people here for it. We're going to run around the room, and what I want you to do is say your name, your age, if you have social media that you want to promote, go ahead, and your relationship status. So we'll start with Kara, to my right.
Hi, I'm Kara. I am 30 years old, and I actually just recently met the love of my life about a month ago.
Oh, we're gonna get into that.
Let's go.
Glenn?
So I'm Glenn. I'm 44. What was the other thing? Single. I am single.
Okay. Glenn, 44, single.
Indre, 32, single for sure, and my IG page is Indre Ignite. So follow me.
Isn't it Indre underscore?
Oh, Indre underscore Ignite.
They can't even find you if you don't tell them.
Oh yeah, because it's not gonna be down there anymore.
Not this one. All right. So thanks, guys. Once again, thanks for showing up. Before we get started, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe. Just take 2 seconds, 1 second for me to hit that subscribe, and 1 second for you. Put a smile on your face for hitting that subscribe for us. What do you guys think about this being your first live? Before we jump into anything, is anyone nervous?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little nervous?
Yeah.
Maybe slightly.
What's that?
Slightly.
Slightly?
Yeah, this is definitely my first live, but I mean, I think it's going to be a fun conversation.
Oh, it definitely is. So you guys don't even know the title of this one. And the title of this relationship and dating and all that stuff, that's not the title, but it's going to be the N-word. Any ideas? No? Okay, well, we'll just jump into it.
Let's
then.
jump in.
So to kick us off with
No?
Huh?
The no word?
No.
I'm kidding.
To kick us off with the N-word of this video, I'm going to start with a video. People probably already seen. You guys probably haven't seen it, but in order for us to hear it, you guys got to put your headphones on. So go ahead and don your headphones. And our wonderful producer, King, who's behind the stage, behind the scenes, is going to kick off the video for us. King, if you be so kind.
I was actually reading. I ship out in a few days, so I was just reading the art of strategy.
Okay.
For the military?
So actually I'm a nuclear physicist for the Navy.
No.
So I do that in a few days.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
How old are you?
I am 27. I look a little young. I'm not that young.
Yeah, you look young.
So where do you live?
So I'm actually in the Woodlands, Texas right now. Right down there by Houston. I'm about 30 minutes away from Houston. So I'm a little close.
Oh, nice. Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
Man, where do I start? I like martial arts a lot. I did a bit of pharmacy back when I was a little bit younger, about 2-3 years ago. I got certified at pharmacy around when I was 17. I didn't really do anything with it. I went to university for a while. I was getting like a business degree. So I have a bachelor's in business. And then I did pharmacy for a little while, for about 3 years, and then got bored. So I was like, let's go see what the military has to offer. Didn't do anything. I did my PICAT about a year ago. Got a 96 on that. It goes up to a 99, got a 96. They offered me nuclear physics, and I was like, why the fuck not? So I went there, and now I ship out in a few days.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, best of luck as you ship out pineapples.
Yeah. Why?
Because he literally didn't tell me any qualities about himself. He's just like, I made a 96 on this. I did this. And I feel like I did that at first too. But however, I need a man with some personality.
You felt that quick? You know you didn't have personality?
Yes, I'm really good at reading people.
Okay.
All right, you guys can take your headphones off. Okay, so The title of this live is the N word, but it means nice for nice guys. So that's what we're talking about today. You guys just watched the video with what you can pretty much consider a nice guy, giving his qualities, what his achievements, on a dating show basically. And when she says pineapples means that you're gonna pass up on that person. So she passed up on a nuclear physicist. He's 27, scored like the highest in whatever test it was. I'm sorry, the PICAT I think it was. Nothing but accolades, and he wasn't good enough for her. What do you guys think about that video? What you just saw?
I think in that brief conversation, it definitely wasn't long enough to get to know him. He definitely seemed to be a little nervous in it. I guess I'm just not sure why she kind of cut him off. And I feel like for me, I would have kind of asked questions to probe a little more, because just like she asked a very general question.
Right.
And it's like, if you want to get to know more, then ask the question that you really want the answer to, not just like a, hey, what are you doing with your life? Like,
and they say that women know, like within the first 15 seconds of meeting you, if they want to talk to you, if they want to get to know you, if they want to sleep with you, all that, within the first 15 seconds, whatever it is. I think she already made her decision, probably within that first 15 seconds, that he was boring or he was nice. He didn't have that edge. He didn't have that swag that she was probably looking for. And this is something that happens, we see it happen all too often, where good guys get passed up when they're young, in their prime, you know, making their way, putting their resources together, building their money, stacking their money. And then a lot of times what happens is women go out there and they get with the Pookie, the Ray, you know, the guy who's no good. They know they're no good. The friends tell them that the guy's no good, but they think for a reason that they can change him, or he's going to change, or it's going to work out. And then what almost inevitably happens most of the time too, she ends up pregnant. And then the guy doesn't stay around. So then now she's a single mom. Now she's a single mom, that's when she wants Mr. 96 on his podcast, you know, nuclear physicist, to essentially come and pick up the pieces. So, you know, it's almost unfair. And what's the guy supposed to do? You know, you do all the right things, you do what you were taught to do by your parents, and you still can't win.
Is this whole thing like directed toward me? You're looking at me a lot as you're saying this, and I just feel like, yeah.
Well, Glenn, I mean, that is part of the reason I brought you here, because you're kind of our example for tonight. Not in a bad way, but you have a very interesting story that we're going to get into. Now, me and Glenn, we work together, and he's told me his story about his relationship, which we'll get into in a minute. And it's going to blow your minds. When I heard it, I was like, no, that can't be real. That can't be true. That's not real life. Calm down. You're okay. But, yeah, it's a doozy of a story. So, Glenn, I'm going to kind of, actually, before we kick that off, Andrew, you didn't say anything about that clip.
So I don't know. I don't like dating shows anymore. Well, I like to watch them, but I don't like to participate because I know you can't read a person over that, like 30 seconds. That was too fast.
Yeah.
I agree. But you also can't judge him and say he's a nice person just because he's smart. Or, you know, like, you can be smart but still an asshole.
This is true.
So I feel like...
But did he show asshole tendencies?
Not yet, but this is why I don't agree with going like that old school, like, what is it, that the dating game, yeah. But where you like literally like have like 60, like, what was it, 15 minutes, and then you go to next speed dating.
Yeah,
that's what. Yeah, it was like literally on top tip of my tongue. Speed dating, like that, you can't judge a book by it's too fast. Right. It's too fast. So that's why I'm like, I watch it, but I'm like, I don't agree with it because you just don't know. But because she's on the show and she might be like, okay, this is what I'm looking for, and she already saw something maybe in him that she didn't want, and she just passed it on because she knows she's on the show.
But in a conversation, you're trying to get to know someone, even in a speed dating atmosphere, why wouldn't you ask more pertinent questions? Not just tell me about yourself.
Yeah, but maybe she wasn't ready.
Yeah, I don't think she was ready at all. Just the way she kind of carried herself. I would say she wasn't ready. I think she was looking for a specific type of person, and he didn't fit that mold. And it seemed like she discounted him from the get-go.
Right.
Which is not fair.
Definitely not fair. No, I agree.
She gets knocked up, has a couple of kids. She's looking for
Oh
one
my
man.
God, so that is
You
so
were in pregnancy like right away.
right.
Like,
Wow, like you just
There's
think
so
that,
many
like
more
what?
steps.
Right? Oh my God.
So the reason why I go to that is because of the pregnancies out there of single moms. What's the? I believe King. You remember the percentage? Is it like 80% of the women are sleeping with 20% of the men? Or
They say it's 80-20, but a lot of people are now going to 90-10.
90-10. Okay. And of that, it basically means like 10% of the population, or male population, is making all the babies. So it means women are picking a certain type of guy. And if I've heard a lot of times that a nice guy isn't interesting. He's no fun. He's boring. You know. So what are they going for? And on top of that, the thing I hear the most is, oh, when they break up with the boyfriend, he was toxic. He abused me. We had differences. You know, which some of those things will happen. Yes. And I'm not saying you're always going to win with a nice guy, but you hear the same story from a lot of the same from different girls, you know, because they're picking the same.
Well, I think it's that they want to make themselves look better at the end of the day. Like, they might have kind of poked some bears and then ran away, and then you don't actually know what happened. So it's, and like from that little clip that we saw, I don't know what happened before. So like, how did she introduce herself? How did that whole conversation start? Because that was more focused on him, and then she kind of just like shut him down immediately. How did she perceive herself too? Because a relationship isn't just how does the guy come across? Like, it has to be both ways. Otherwise, what are you doing?
Right.
You know?
So yeah, when you say like all the girls are picking the guys, like, but essentially it takes two to tango. Like, the guy was probably looking for some specific one, but it's also like the mindset. Like, now I feel like when women are like older and have more like dating experience, they know what they're looking for, and they know like the bad guy isn't it anymore. Like, you know, like it's nice to have like a little swag, but I will look, huh?
When would you say that happens? They tend to know what they want.
I don't think there's a certain age, but I think there's a little bit of experience going into it too.
It's
like
a maturity thing.
Right,
Everybody's-
exactly.
yeah.
Your mindset changes, but it could be like for somebody at 25, for somebody at 32, like, you know.
They say women mature faster than men. So what's going on? What's happening with that? If you guys mature faster than us,
in
how are
certain-
you guys making so many
What do you define
different-
maturity as, though?
In different, yeah, I was gonna say like
It's
define
personal
maturity. The
growth. Not just physical, but personal and mental growth.
Go deeper.
yeah,
How much do you want to go deeper
But-
than physical?
What do you mean by growth? Like, because growth can be so many different things. Like, you can be. Help me out here. Like, what
you
what
can
do
grow in
define as-
any different ways, like school. You know what I mean? Like personal experience. I'm growing in my hobby. Anything, relationship with your parents, growing. But maybe you have that one like flaw where it'd be. I loved bad guys when I was younger. Like that. You know what I mean?
Fun.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was still mature.
my head hard enough at that, but go ahead.
Like, I would go,
When
went
you're
to
not
school,
mature enough,
worked,
when
like,
you're, yeah.
well, you're still mature. I wasn't dumb. I just, liked
you
a
knew
little bit
better,
more.
right?
I knew better.
But you went
100%.
against what you knew.
Exactly.
Well,
And that's
I feel
exactly
like
what I said in the beginning.
I feel like it also goes back to like almost this idea of that you want this picture perfect American dream where you want the white picket fence and everything. So you're like, who's going to be the best looking person for that? And then as you mature, but that's not.
You realize that dream isn't like
There's so much
you
more
have-
that goes on behind
right.
the doors than what's out in front of in the front yard.
Exactly.
And it's like,
as a kid, you're
Yeah.
like, you're dreaming, like, I want this wedding, you know, like white dress or whatever, like this husband, 2 kids and a dog, you know.
yeah,
But now you're like, well, I'm just gonna take life as is and whatever, you know, like
my happiness isn't what everybody else's happiness is.
Exactly.
Like,
It's
has
different.
It has to change, and that's kind of what makes us all human and unique. I think that everybody has a different happiness that they're going for.
Yeah.
But at what point or at what I'm sorry, Glenn, real quick point. At what point or what age do you know right from wrong?
That I
Good
don't
from
think-
bad?
Well, I don't think.
In
but
what
what's-
regard?
Yeah, in what regard?
Like, I
and
know
In the
everybody
moment.
walking a
learns
fire,
different-
but
everybody matures at a different pace or grows at a different pace. You can't compare.
But I'm saying
you
at a-
can't be like 9 years old. That's it.
No, at its base, when do you know what is good and what is bad? When do you know? You know, when do you start enacting and saying like this probably isn't the
men
best
at
choice for
55
myself?
years old killing other people, raping other women,
This is
and
true.
you're 55 years old. Like he's
good and
obviously
bad is
immature.
such a like we as a society. I feel like we think of good and bad as a very clear cut defined thing, but everybody defines good and bad. I love just thinking about definitions of terms.
Right.
good and bad for me might be different from you. It might be different from all of us, but that's what also makes some really interesting conversations.
It does. But, I mean, with the interest of time, we can't go super specific as much as we'd like to. We'd rather do it off camera or something like that.
Yeah, let's go.
Next show. Let's
Right.
go.
Really bad from the video.
Right, we can't go super specific. So we have to keep it somewhat general.
Right.
You know, so we can't go after everything with a microscope, you know? We have to use a spoon on this one. I'm sorry, Glenn, but you were going to say.
Yeah.
I've halfway lost the thought because this was about a comment that was made earlier.
What
I
she
think
said,
we were
right?
talking about. I think we were talking about a point in development where. Well, I know I was going to make the point. That I feel like at a certain age, younger women do seem to all gravitate toward the same kind of man, but I feel like it diversifies as they get older.
Yeah.
As they get older.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And-
as they discover what's
truth.
real to them, what they really want.
Okay.
You know,
I
All right.
agree.
So real quick, Carrie, you said you met the love of your life a month ago.
I did.
So you've known him for a full month?
Full month tomorrow.
That's it, just 30 days.
Yeah.
And you already know he's the love of your life?
Yep.
How do you know? How do you know that he's different from the rest of the people you've dated?
So I actually had this conversation with him the other day. Like we've been talking nonstop because otherwise I'm a dumbass. But but it's really just been, what am I looking for in my future? I think tying to what we were talking about earlier, like what am I looking for? Not just like the white picket fence, but what is my realistic future and who do I want by my side while I'm going through it all? And this guy, he's so supportive of everything that I have going on in my life, that it's not something that like all my past relationships I've made excuses for. I'm just like, oh, they have this flaw, but I can fix that. Or they have this insecurity, I can help them get over that. But with him, it's just like, he accepts me for who I am, he loves me for who I am, and I love him for who he is. And that, I think that's definitely something where if you told me 5 years ago I'd feel this way, or even 2 months ago, I'd been like, you're hysterical, this is not happening. But it just, when you find that person that you're just like, you know what, this is my reality, this is my future, then I am a firm believer right now that when you know, you know.
and you're saying the word love already. Has this happened to you before, where you've used that word love so soon into a relationship?
Not so soon, but it's one of those things that I've been through enough things in my life to know what I'm looking for, to know what I feel, what my definition of love is. And again, for me, that's a little bit different than what other people might be. But for right now, I'm really happy just in this moment, and I truly feel like I found the person that I want to not have the white picket fence with, but have my realistic dream future with.
Right.
Okay. So we already kind of asked the question, but like, so you never met anyone, you haven't had this feeling before with someone before in your past, that this is the one, this is the person I love, this person wants to spend the rest of my life with? This never happened before?
I have, but then I would think they're going to be the love of my life when I can fix this, or when I can help them overcome this insecurity or whatever it is. But with who I'm with now, it just feels like we talk about this, like the universe put us in the right place at the right time after we both been through the shit that we've been through, to get us to the point where we can both be in this moment together.
Okay. Do you think it's too early to know, like, if he's the one? Like, because it's only been a month.
No,
anything
yeah.
can come out the hat. You know?
No, 100%. Yeah, this is great. But yeah, there's a piece of me that, and we've had this conversation too, that we've been a little apprehensive. And oh, look, he's commenting. That's fun. And it's like we kept thinking like, when is the other shoe going to drop? But it's one of those things that, for me, one of the big pieces of love is finding somebody who's going to support me through thick and highs and lows. And I really do feel like he genuinely is going to, and I don't have to justify or make excuses for them not being there.
I'll say this: it's a lot easier to know how you feel about a person and whether there's a future and how it's going to go if there's ample communication. And it feels to me like there is a lot going on. That there have been a lot of very deep conversations that you've already had in a short, span of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, I guess what I'm getting at is, I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm trying to get something out of you. Is you go through a puppy dog's stage where everything is great. Butterflies, nothing can go wrong. Everything's just the way it's supposed to be. But eventually, I'm not going to say it's going to happen with you, but eventually something goes wrong. And let me ask you this. Do you guys live together right now?
Nope.
Okay, so do you guys have plans to live together?
Yep.
How soon?
We were just talking the other day about his leases ending in August, and we might be making some plans after that. But again, we're just kind of starting to get into this conversation, and it has been a month. And I know people are gonna be like, this dumbass over here. But
No.
I'm
Stop reading my mind.
I would have thought the same thing. But I truly feel like I found my person.
Okay.
And like we've even talked about this, that it's not really like, yes, he is my boyfriend now, but it's really a partnership. And I think that's something with maturity that you find, like, who is going to be my partner? Who do I want by my side through everything? And so far, we've kind of proven that we can be there and do that for each other. But I think it's also because we've both been through different relationships where we've had that puppy dog phase. And it's like, okay, what are the conversations to kind of break through that? And so it was like, when we first started talking, it's like, do you like the beach or the mountains? And then like a couple days later, it was like, okay, what's your scariest thought that you think could come true now? And so just like having those deeper conversations is something with maturity. Like 10 years ago, and if I was in a relationship, I would have been like, you're funny, let's talk about that later. But like as you're maturing, then that's something that happens a little bit sooner.
Okay. Do you think it's maturing or just like settling down? Like you're kind of at the stage in life where you're like, you know what? It's time for me to just like get out of the game and sow some oats.
I mean, honestly, before a month ago, I was single for 2 years, and COVID sucks to be single in.
It did.
But I've learned a lot about myself, and I was able to establish this independence and learn more about who I am. And I think that's one of the biggest things in a relationship is learning about who you are and then who you want to support who you are, not who you want to change who you are.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyone got anything to say about that? I can go on and on about picking at it, but I'm going to take a little break now.
We might get him on here another time. We can.
Okay. Love to have him. What are we at now for time, King?
22 minutes.
22 minutes. Glenn, you're a little try to find the nice words for it. He's not a short read. So we're gonna start his story. And I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of questions. Might pick some jaws up off the ground. But yeah, Glenn, let's hop into your story. That's why you're here.
Okay, so I'm not exactly sure which direction I'm supposed to be going with this. Which part of it is the most unbelievable? I've had.
You know which part is. We've talked about this at work.
Okay. I'm assuming I know. Okay, but yeah. So
I'll help you out if you don't get there.
Yeah, I was. So I was married for. I'll go back to the beginning. I lived in Alabama up until 4 years ago, at which point I moved to DC. Back when I was in Alabama, I was in a marriage for 12 years. And so that ended in 2015. And so after that marriage ended, I decided I wanted to. I was in search of self. I was in search of what is it that I want to do with myself? Who am I? What really makes me happy? I had not really even asked those questions before, or at least not seriously enough, apparently. But yeah, so anyway, that's what ended up leading me to DC. I went through. It was a terrible divorce. So there were. I was, and I think this is what we're getting to here. That I ended up having to pay.
Don't get there too quickly. You gotta build us up, baby.
Okay.
You gotta tease us a little bit, you know.
What happened? Now I want to know.
Yeah, really.
Okay, ignore him. Keep going.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Now you gotta stay.
we had 22 minutes left, or we are.
No, we're at 22 minutes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
But yeah, all right. Well, so let's draw it out a little bit then, I guess. But anyway, I came to DC. I got into marketing to begin with, and then
I mean, not draw it like that far, but back to the relationship.
Oh my
I don't
god.
just tell the story. Okay, I mean,
All right, so let me help bring in a little bit. So you were married for 12 years,
yes.
Okay.
I was married for 12 years.
and you said it didn't end well.
That's right.
It was a little turbulent. So why did it end?
Why did it end? Well, because, I mean, really a better question is why didn't it end about 10 years before? Because the marriage was dead. The marriage was dead after like the first year or so. And she and I both knew it. But because of the way you're supposed to be and, you know, religious beliefs and whatever, you know, we decided we're going to make this work. Or, well, actually, I should say I decided I was going to make it work. She just kind of was along for the ride, I guess.
Yeah, you did the right thing. You know,
yeah.
you had vows and you.
But the point was she didn't want to be in it the whole time. I did. I felt like I made a lot of sacrifices in order to stay in this kind of miserable situation, and just did my best to make. I made the best of it, and so at the end of this, am I allowed to go on to the?
Quick question before you go on: Who filed? Who filed for the divorce?
She filed.
Okay.
She filed. And she was. I think she was looking for. She was looking for a reason, actually, the entire time to get up. As a matter of fact, yeah, Becca. Wow, it was a depressing thing that, like after the first, I don't know, I'm going to say 6 months or so, she moved. She separated from me, moved back in with her parents for like a month. And I remember her reason for coming back was she said her parents just annoyed her too much. Like there was never any, you know, I miss you and I realized we can make this work.
Right.
But no, it was like,
Let's
yeah,
have two
they
wheels.
annoyed the hell out of me. They just pissed me off. So yeah, I guess I'm stuck with you.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how the whole thing was. So yeah, at the end of the marriage, or you know, so during the divorce, which took an entire year, by the way. She was looking to get as much out of that as possible, like financial wise. And so anyway, the thing that I'm getting to, which I hope I'm allowed to get in there now, it was a very tough financial situation for me, extremely tough. I was having to pay, like, it started out as the percentage of my income at the time was, I think, 43%. 43% of everything that I made was having to go toward her. So I had to figure out a way to just make more money. And that's one of the things that kind of led me to DC. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Then this past November, she passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And
sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. October she passed away. I thought at this point that everything would be ended. Oh, which by the way, so this financial agreement was for 5.5 years total, which was scheduled to end this month, June the 30th.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna ask you a question like I don't know the story right, but it's an important part.
Yes.
Was she with anybody else? Like after she left you?
After she left me, she immediately remarried. The state of Alabama says you have to
get money.
Yeah, I still have to pay. Still, I had to pay the entire 5.5 years. Yeah.
How about when you get remarried, the alimony?
Under normal circumstances in normal states, that is how it is. But in the state of Alabama, the way this worked out was different. I have to throw this in that there was a situation. She was legally disabled. I say legally disabled because she wasn't. Well, you know, I could debate about that, but was she really disabled? She could actually. Well, anyway, she was legally disabled, and that was a big, huge factor in the state of Alabama because if you stay married to a person for at least 10 years in the state of Alabama, you can and will be forced to pay alimony for life. And so during this the time that the divorce was going on, she told me, she said, through her lawyer or whatever, said, yeah, you're going to pay me for life, and here's how much I want.
You think
Is that why she stayed?
Yeah, do you think she stayed that long just to get that?
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's a possibility. Yeah, I'm not sure, but well, I mean, I do know that she didn't just wait exactly 10 years though. It was like it was 12. Anyway, so yeah, she let's see, where was I? She said, you're gonna have to pay. Here's how much I want for the rest of my life. It was a
You don't have to get into
fairly
the amount
large
if you don't want
number,
Yeah.
and so like the whole time that I was, and I talked to my lawyer about this before. I talked to several lawyers about this. I said, "Is this true?" And yeah, like 3 or 4 different lawyers said, "Yeah, in the state of Alabama, this is how it is. You're basically when you are married to a disabled person for that long, it's basically assumed that you're you're bound to them for life, no matter
Right.
what, even if they marry someone, or even if they leave you.
That's insane.
No. That's not even the bombshell.
That's yeah.
That's-
so. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Wait, may I
Can I
ask?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. But yeah, there's worse to come.
So, like, you're talking about these laws and everything, but is it based on gender in the relationship? Like,
No.
is it if it
Doesn't
was
matter.
if the
It
tides
doesn't
turn?
matter.
Yeah.
It
It's
doesn't
just
matter.
the
Okay.
same. May I ask why she passed?
I don't actually know. I know I was given some very scant details that she was taken to the hospital and she stopped breathing there. She had a very, very weak immune system. I feel that it was COVID, respiratory, related kind of thing. So yeah, that's. And she had lots and lots and lots of health issues. They were all treatable, workable, health issues, but there were lots of them, and she took a whole lot of prescription drugs, and that killed her immune system, and I feel that it was COVID that did that.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. One more interjection. This one's important. Now, I don't condone anyone, losing their life, passing away. I mean, especially under circumstances like that. It's always a tragic loss of life, and I am sorry for your loss, even though you guys weren't together. I would, if you don't mind, take a quick moment of silence for your ex-wife, because any life lost is,
That's, yeah, I like that. That's very respectable.
So let's just take a quick moment for his ex.
So yeah, during this divorce, that was the thing on the table that was presented to me. That I want X amount for life, and so eventually, and it kept getting pushed. The court dates kept getting pushed back. I was going to take it to court. But then she ended up making an offer, an out-of-court offer to me for a certain amount, but that's where this kind of gets weird. Is that this out-of-court agreement was absolutely binding, no matter what, for exactly 5.5 years, a certain amount of money, and so I could take my chance on the alimony, go to court and take a chance on paying alimony for life, or I could take and of course, now alimony alimony ends if and when a person, the recipient, gets remarried, and so I could take a chance on that. I was thinking, okay, so I could, so this chance that she, because I knew she was dating this other person actually while the divorce was going on. I figured it was about 6 months into the divorce that she and he started dating, and I was thinking, okay, so maybe they'll end up getting married. But if I go that route and she decides not to remarry, then I'm stuck for life, and I have no recourse whatsoever, no legal recourse. But so I basically had to take this thing that was absolute 5.5 years, no matter what happens. And so I did that, and that 5.5 years, like I said, ends at the end of this month, June 30th. And so she passed away, and so the man who she married is now in the process of creating an estate account, so that I have to now pay into that account.
No.
Yeah.
So and this is completely legal in the state of Alabama, or at least it was when I went through the divorce. Because they actually changed the law in Alabama about a year to 2 years after the divorce to make that
But you're
whole.
still held to the older.
But I'm
laws.
still, yes,
Oh, wow.
that's right. So now I'm having to pay a man who I've never even met in my life this money, which, you know. So the good news is that it still ends on June the 30th. After which I'm having the biggest party ever.
Right.
Let's go. I'm in.
So, yeah, I've actually talked to Sean about this. It's going to be called Glendependence Day, and it's going to be on July
I like
3rd.
that.
And anyway, but that's the thing. That's the story.
Wow. That's
Yes.
crazy.
So just a quick recap in case you guys didn't get it. So Glenn was married. Unfortunately, his wife divorced. They got divorced. She passed away, unfortunately. But before she passed away, she married another man. Then she passed away. Now, Glenn, because of the law, he has to pay the other man until this 5 years is up. I don't get how that's fair.
Now, there is hope, actually. There's a little asterisk here, which is that so I've not actually paid him I haven't paid him $1 yet. I've been putting it aside in an account, payment by payment. And so according to the law, yes, he's going to be able to do that estate account, and it's going to be fine. But a judge, it has to go before a judge, and the judge has to sign off on it. So I've had friends and family say, well, you know, this is so bizarre.
Yeah, it is bizarre.
That surely a judge is not going to, sign off on this.
Yeah, you paying a random
you know,
person.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, I was reading the comment, because why would he have to, did you cheat? Because why would he have to pay alimony?
Did I cheat? No, I did not.
Glenn's a nice guy.
I'm a nice
He doesn't cheat.
Now, like I said, in full disclosure, there was this female who I became friends with, and it was nothing more than friends. She, and at one point, I felt like, we need. I felt guilty about it because she and I were just too good of friends. I feel like I was sharing more with her than I was with my wife at the time, and I felt guilty about it. So I told her about this, and that was like her, that was the thing, that was the excuse she was looking for.
That's what she used.
She says, oh, well, he committed, emotional infidelity then. So, yeah.
Remember our video we talked about women, they look for a reason to strike. They look for any weakness that will serve their purpose. That's an example right there if I've ever heard of one.
I don't know. I don't agree with that.
My theory is that human beings in general, I don't think it's just women, are always looking for a way of justifying their own feelings.
Right.
They want to look good at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's why you got to listen to understand, not listen to strike.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's not that she wasn't being understanding.
But yeah, she was looking for a way out the whole time, and she found it. I try not to speak ill of her. I don't speak ill of the dead.
Right.
I feel that's a respectful, thing. But
For sure.
but yeah. So there you go.
Well, Glenn, thank you for telling your story. I appreciate it. I know it's tough. It's got to be tough to kind of relive those memories to tell the story. But you know what, Glenn? I'm sure your story is going to help lots of guys out there, lots of people who are listening. Because, like I said, I've never heard of that before.
Me neither. But I do want to just add something to the story when you were saying at the beginning, like how like you were married the first year, you already knew that like the marriage wasn't really like over. And I think that's a big thing too. Like you got to listen to what's in here, right? Because like I was scared too. Like when I was married with my ex, where 1 year in I already knew, but I was like I should try, and I felt bad for my parents. My parents paid for the wedding. I'm like, I worried about like little things like that. But my mom sat me down and she was like, no, it's fine. I mean, like you do whatever you feel like is right, and I already knew back then like it's over, and I feel like it's important that you just listen to your heart and like follow it, even though it was hard, whatever, pulling the trigger, but
Yeah.
it's good to do it early.
It is tough.
Then you don't have to pay.
And that was
Damn, Andrew, cutting deep.
Low blow.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say something else that like another part of it for me was I mentioned earlier religious beliefs. I just thought that was like you know I basically it was I felt like I was gonna go to hell if I divorced, and especially if I if I divorced and then remarried, which but of course I knew if I were going to divorce that I would eventually get remarried, because I knew even then I don't know, I guess I'm the Marian type or whatever. Well, because I do believe in, I believe in love, and I am my entire life I've always thought that it's I've loved romance, and I've loved the idea of growing old with someone, and so yeah. So, so this it scared me to death. It was fear that kept me in for that long. So
yeah, it's definitely fair.
Yep. So guys in the chat, go ahead and hit the likes for us, and if you haven't been subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Also, since Glenn's Independence Day is coming up on June 30th. Go ahead and drop a super chat in there for him too, because any super chats we get today is going to go to Glenn for his drink fund, his Glendependence Day. So go ahead and show him some love. Seriously. Yeah. Even if it's just $1, drop him $1. He shared his story with you, so that's the least y'all can do. Just hit that like, subscribe, and drop the man $1. Yeah. So thanks again, Glenn. That's wild.
That is wild.
Yeah.
But now, one thing that I've been focusing on a lot these past, especially 2 or 3 years, is putting all this behind me. Part of that is not talking about it anymore. So I have kind of violated that in doing this whole thing. So thanks a whole lot.
Yeah, thanks, Sean.
But
this is therapeutic, though.
Is it?
I think so. You can get things off your chest.
Yeah. Which I've gotten it off my chest, lots before this
yeah,
too.
Right, right. Just one more last time.
Yeah. One last time for old time's sake.
Right.
But that has been like the beautiful thing these past few years is little by little, see, because of course.
I'm sorry, I had to pause you, Glenn. $9.99 super chat for you.
Great,
That's
awesome.
Thank you.
That's a pack of beer.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, Michael.
So Michael is actually the love of my life. So.
Oh well, hello,
He's
Michael.
blowing up the chat there.
Oh, there you go. Hey.
So we're in.
All
Don't worry
right.
about it. We'll just crash.
I was thinking that was coincidental, but that's the
he's
person.
blowing it up there.
Okay.
So
Oh,
he's gonna
that's
come.
awesome.
Okay.
I was wondering
Mike,
who this
You're
Michael.
coming on next time.
Yeah, I was like, who? This Michael really loves our channel. I was really
Sorry. Not sorry.
No, it's great.
sorry, not sorry.
So what was I saying? That these past few years I've been focusing on moving past it, and there was another thought there that I was going to say, and it's kind of gone now. Wow. See, I'm getting old. The mind is the first thing to go, and that's what's happening here.
That's what's
No,
happening.
there was something about. But anyway, I will say that it has been awesome moving. Oh, I know what I was going to say. It's the anger. Yeah, there's been, understandably a whole lot of anger and bitterness that I've had over these past several years, so that was, and it was like, it was a real drag on me. It was a real, like, I really feel like it affected a lot of the thoughts and a lot of the, the things that I was doing. And I mean, it even took time because, the time that it took to sit and, think through these thoughts over and over and over again in my head.
Right.
But it's felt better and better and better as I've felt that kind of fade away as I've purposely decided I'm going to put that behind me and focus on the future.
So you come to peace with it.
And of course, that's why I made the move that I did, moving from semi-rural Alabama to right smack dab in the middle of Washington D.C. Was to start a brand new life and just and to fill my life and fill my head with new thoughts and new happenings. So yeah, and like getting more involved in my career has helped out a whole lot, and making new friends and stuff. So
And ladies, he said career, not job. Career. Just want to point that out. There's a difference.
That is a difference.
Yeah, that's right. As a matter of fact, I feel like kind of when I was several years ago, I was just in a job. I didn't really have much of a career. I didn't really have much of a plan at that point. I felt I didn't have direction at that point. But since I made all these changes and since all that shit happened, suddenly now I do have direction. It's kind of forced me into doing something. I've got to get out of this. So yeah, I've got far more direction, and yeah, that's the reason I use the word career, because it's much more of a thing now.
I got you. So Indra, I mean, you quickly touched on your relationship. You want to expound that a little more, or you good?
I mean, I've said a lot of things already. I feel like about it. It's a regular divorce. Good old divorce.
Oh, thank you, Actual King Smith, dropping
more money.
$4.99 gas a gallon. Oh,
1 gallon of gasoline. Wow, thank you.
So you can make a home.
Also, another question too for Glenn. Did you get therapy?
Yes. Yeah. I got lots of therapy actually. Back in the first 1 or 2 years there. I probably ended that a little soon actually. But yeah, there was a lot involved.
Good.
But making these moves that I've made have been kind of therapy in and of themselves, honestly.
Right.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not sharing anything tonight. Y'all gotta drop some more in the purse for me to share something tonight. But I share enough as it is on every video. I mean, go back and check the videos. You'll see I share a lot.
You do.
I have some wild stories. There is a wild story on the page that I shared of a dating story that I had. It was a 3-part story. Crazy. Go check it out. So I wanted to ask you guys a question. I actually have 2 questions. We'll start with the first one. On a first date, who pays? Indra, go ahead. You can start.
The guy.
Why?
Why?
Even the face that she makes as she said. Yeah.
I mean,
44.
because if I want to go to dinner, I can buy it myself. I'm not gonna buy you dinner. If you want to have my present, sorry.
Oh, have your presents.
Yeah, because once our relationship is established, then I don't mind going 50-50. I have money, but
Why not the first time go 50-50?
because I'm happy by myself. I don't need to pay for another guy. I've done that before, and it takes me nowhere sometimes.
If you just pay for yourself on the first date, what's wrong with that?
If the guy were to ask, so my expectation is the guy, you're going to pay on the first date, because that's just how, I don't know, I was raised like that, and it was just kind of like a mindset. But if somebody, I had that happen before where I went on a date and the guy was like, I guess he asked before I got there, because he got there a little bit earlier, to get separate checks, because at the end when he asked for checks, the waitress brought in 2 checks. So he must have already asked, because he didn't ask in front of me. Which was fine. I paid. I didn't say anything. So if that case, in that scenario, fine.
Was there a date 2? Was there date number 2?
I talked to him, and actually he took advantage of me, because then he invited me to a movie over at his house, which is fine. I'll come over. And then he's like, hey, but can you pick up Indian on the way? I was like, perfect. He's like, I'll Venmo you my half, only his half. I was like, no problem. And he never Venmoed me, and I'm not that type of person to be like, you owe me $15 for Indian.
Here's the receipt.
Right. You get me next time. But there was no next time. So now I'm two lunches or dinners short. Why?
So I'm
just happy by myself then. I'll take myself on to dinner. If somebody wants to take me on dinner, they're going to have to pay.
See, I think that's kind of this old, or that was kind of the wrong word, this almost stigma of the guy always has to pay. I always kind of do the casual reach for my purse, because I do have a job, I can support, but
how intentful are you reaching for your purse though? Is this a slow motion reach?
But how many times on the first how many times on the first day the guy already pulls it? On the first day, 99% of the time when the check comes, the guy already grabs it.
And that's
there's
great.
not even really a chance for the female to.
But I think there's some
pretend.
signals, like, if
there's
they're-
sometimes,
yeah.
but not.
Oh, so that's your thing. There wasn't enough time for me to. Okay, I got it.
But I'm just saying that if you're
Take
gonna
notes
reach
now.
for it, if you already reach for it, I'm not gonna pretend to go. Thank you
Well, I think there's also some clues.
for paying
like,
for dinner. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
there's
not
some
looking for a
cues
thing.
during the dinner because, like, if the guy is asking for the check, like, that means that they're taking the initiative for that part. But if it's like the waitress comes over and is like, "Hey, whenever you're ready," like that creates a different dynamic.
That's what I'm saying.
And I think
If
it's the tone. Yeah.
Right. If the guy says, "Hey, you want to split this check on the first date?" If he asks me that, I'm not going to say no.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me inform you in case you didn't know. So when a guy takes you on a first date, right, and most relationships, not just dating, but also friendships, they're transactional. People do things to get things, or they do things expecting things. Not saying that's the right way to go, but I mean, tell me in a relationship that isn't transactional to an extent. Same as if he's asking you, let's go on a date, I want to take you here, blah, 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 you know? If he pays for that check, he reaches for it before you do, he is therefore telling you he wants to see you a second time. Now, if you know you don't want to see him a second time, and you don't say, I'll pay for my half, there's a problem. Now you're using him. So why not put your big girl panties on and be like, no, I'll pay for my half. Because then you're at least letting this guy know, like, all right, I appreciate the time. We didn't match up. Let's just part ways even Steven, you know?
Well, because that's the difference between, I feel like, a date versus just a getting to know you opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like they're two different things. Because if it's a date, then there's a whole different vibe. There's a whole different ambiance. But it's like, hey, we're going to grab drinks or grab dinner. That could be his friends. It could be, hey, we're trying to figure out what this is. But I really do think it's everything that leads up to that moment, not just that moment itself. That really kind of dictates what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I'm sorry. That annoys me about most men. If I want to take a woman out on a date, I'm going to use the word date when I ask her. You know,
Please be clear.
Right.
Why are we,
Yeah.
playing these games?
I know, it's
Why
so
not just
stupid.
make it clear and everybody
But
understands?
even
Right.
when you're saying date, and you're saying you know what date means, earlier when we were talking, you kept saying, well, what does this mean? Or you have to be more specific. Can you be more more accurate about what you're trying to tell me? And people have to play those games, when it suits them, They want to act. They don't know what you're talking about when you're trying to ask them a question. I'm not talking about earlier. I'm talking about in general. When you, like I said, if I'm asking, well, you're only shit. But if I ask Indra and I was like, Indra, you want to go on a date? And by your definition, date means what? That I'm serious about you, whatever it is?
Yeah, well, I don't know that I said the definition of a date, but yeah, that my intentions toward I see this as a romantic thing, and it's not just for friends, and but yeah, my thing is I'm always gonna pay because that's
Now, if I use the word date, would you know that?
Would I know what?
If I said, Indra, let me take you on a date, or let's go on a date. Would
That-
you know?
That you would be interested in me?
Yeah, or I was had interest, whatever it was.
Yeah, for sure. Why else would you take me on a date?
Just by me saying the word date?
Yeah.
News to me.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well,
What
yeah,
else would
I'm
I?
kind of confused here too.
Yeah, you got to break this down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because what else would I? If somebody
If
says,
someone says
"Hey,"
date,
I
then
would be like,
that's-
"Hey, Sean, would you like to grab lunch?"
Mm-hmm.
Versus, "Hey, Sean, would you like to go on a date with me?"
I mean, I use it jokingly sometimes. I'm like, hey, look. Well,
If
I'm
you
not-
ask me,
You need to change all that.
yeah, if you were to message me and say, "Hey, Andrew, you want to go on a date?" I would be like, question mark,
Okay.
confused. What?
Because
Alright,
the
that's
date
fair.
implies that you're kind of sitting in that situation like, are you the person I could possibly spend the rest of my life with? Like, that's a very
Like,
different
let me-
vibe than just
That's
like,
quick.
we're going, it's what
do-
it
don't-
could be to. Like,
well,
yeah?
Isn't that
No?
the end goal?
Okay.
That's the
Yes.
end goal, right? Like, what else
Yeah.
are you dating for? Unless you're not looking just for sex, then yeah. But like,
But then is that a date?
Then, right, then it's not a date.
So you
Exactly.
say, want to go on a sex then? Is that what you say if you want to have sex?
Hey,
No,
hey,
Netflix and chill.
Right? Or whatever it is these days. I don't even
You're
know
right.
anymore. But
Pretty sure Netflix and chill.
Gotcha. Learn all the code words. Got it. Oh. All right. So first date. So you're not.
I mean, what did you go on dates and ask the girl to pay?
No, I don't.
So then what's your...
I gauge her reaction to when the check comes. That determines to me if I want to have a second date with her, whether she's serious. Because I want to see genuine interest that even if you didn't enjoy the date, you didn't enjoy my time, you didn't enjoy my conversation, you at least tell me and say, you know what, it's the least I can do. You don't owe me anything, you know, especially if I'm not planning to see you again. Now, if you're planning to see me again, then that's totally fine. Because like I said, that's the transactionalness of the situation. I have paid in full to essentially see you again for, let's just say, the hopes of more down the road. But I'm not paying in full to never see you again. Let me put it this way.
I mean, I understand what you mean.
Well, hold on. Let me put it this way.
know.
This is an interesting way I've been thinking about it sometimes. What's your favorite bag or purse or shoe or whatever it is?
Like that I own?
Or that you have to buy or whatever.
Chanel. Let's say Chanel.
Chanel bag?
Yeah.
Where do you buy Chanel bags at?
I mean, I haven't bought one. That's my goal. So, at the Chanel store. What? They don't.
The Chanel? Okay, so say you went to the Chanel store. How much do those bags cost on average?
Oh my God, 3,000 for a small one?
You have a Chanel bag?
No, I want one.
Oh!
No.
Keep up.
I got a shopping bag back here you can have.
No. They're expensive. That's what I'm saying. I want one. That's the goal.
Okay. Well, maybe someone in the comments will get you one.
No. I
Go ahead and drop the $3,000.
God.
Earn it yourself, right?
I'm joking.
Exactly.
It's so much more rewarding to feel like this
exactly.
is mine,
I bought
all
this.
mine.
Exactly.
But for you to get
But
this
see,
example,
you have this like old school mindset.
No,
like
hold on.
you're like already thinking about females wanting
No. I'm just
free
saying.
shit from men.
No. From this example, tell me something you like to buy that's probably a high ticket item, whatever it might be. Maybe it's perfume or sneakers or shoes or
workout gear, workout clothes.
Do you have a preferred brand?
Yeah, Gymshark. That's my favorite.
Gymshark?
Yeah.
Okay, where do you get that from?
Online.
From Amazon, I guess?
Online from Gymshark.com.
Oh, Gymshark.com. All right. So,
Sponsor.
Yes. Sponsor me, please.
so say you go on Gymshark.com, and how much does a pair of pants and top cost?
Like $60 for leggings and I don't know, 35 depending on the quality and what you're buying.
All right, so let's call it
$100 for a set, yeah.
$100. So you go online, you pick what you want, and you pay $100. Your order never comes. Mm-hmm. It was never coming. Mm-hmm. How you feel about that?
I'll email customer service.
Email customer, but that's what I'm trying to say though. You have paid for something, expecting something, and they're just like, nope,
But
I don't
you
feel like sending it.
Take the girl out to dinner
Mm-hmm.
to get to know her. That's the risk you're taking. Like what? Like I don't understand. Like
I hear, but I don't like the word risk.
so, like you're saying
It's
that,
what it is.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but you're saying that like a girl, 100% is like, okay, well, what if she doesn't know?
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
What? If,
The video stream, it was doing that same error as of yesterday. So far, it looks good, but just wanted to give you a heads up.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry. Go ahead.
but what if she doesn't know? Like for example, sometimes like I need to sleep on it. I need to think about it, see if, like I don't know the conversations. Like I'm not gonna be like, let me pay for it just in case I'm not speaking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
But see, like if you're coming at from that mindset, like I feel like you and I are on the same page with this one, but like you're coming from it from a very black and white, like you do something, I do something.
Right.
But if it's a relationship, it's a partnership. You guys are going to be working together through this. Like it's not going to be, oh, you got this one, I'm going to keep track of this in my little
Oh
notebook.
no, it's not like that at all. I'm not saying you have to keep track, not keeping ticks on the board. No. Let me see here. What was I going with this?
if you know 100% that you're not feeling a guy, and you want the girl to be like, let me pay for it too.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you want?
I'm just saying that'd be the right thing to do.
That would be the right thing to do, but how about even like sex? Like, what if the guy isn't hitting it right, yet the girl continues?
What? That is not apples to apples.
Kind of.
That's like
We still adore it.
apple to pineapple or something.
So can I maybe guess at the direction that we're going here, that in today's society it seems that women get a whole lot more out of the dating
put in a lot
situation,
less.
and that
But it's
men
always
end
been
up
like that.
getting nothing.
But you guys are girl bosses now, and you guys are making money. So what's the problem?
I mean, you just talked about it being transactional. Like it has to be something that's part of the communication piece.
So
But like, there's no
I gotta
problem. I just
say-
told you that I paid for couple lunches, dinners. Like, there's no problem. What you're just suggesting is that the girl should pay for the first dinner. That's not how it
No,
goes.
I'm not saying she should pay for the first dinner. I'm saying that if she's not feeling him,
Then yeah, but she should maybe not have you pay.
Should
I
maybe
agree.
possibly-
But I'm just saying that sometimes, like, there's so many scenarios. Like, what if the dude is an asshole?
Mhm.
And then I don't want to see, no, you're going to pay for my dinner. I'm going to order extra
I've
dessert.
earned this.
Right.
How did you earn it? Please
Because
enlighten
you
me.
sat with this conversation with an asshole.
Right.
And he's like,
That's what I'm
no.
saying. Right.
That's a weird way to earn your meal, but I mean, okay, we'll go with it.
But no, what she's saying is that, like, if you're an asshole, like, hell no, I'm not going to pay for it. I've earned it. I endured your assholeness. Now you're going to pay for my dinner.
All right, so go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, but the word popping into my head right now is entitlement. I
hope it's not against me, but-
It does seem, now, hear me out, just wait till the end. It does seem that today's women have a very strong sense of entitlement, and that there is still this role that a man is supposed to play in dating and in a relationship. And
That's been ingrained in our brains
Right,
for
that's what I was gonna-
forever.
yeah, I was
well,
gonna say
but there's
it's-
see, the thing is, there's not a role that there's not anything expected out of women anymore. There
Right.
used to be back in the day, but there's not anymore. Now,
Exactly. So, but then what I'm saying is, then why not? Like, why would I say, let me go pay for this dinner if the guy already is paying for the dinner? Like, that's like, yeah, it might sound like I'm taking advantage of, but like, would you, like, if a tables were turned, like, would you do it?
Do what?
Would you, if like you're a female and I'm a guy, and I would continuously pay for your dinners, would you actually step in and say, let me pay?
Yeah, I would.
Would you? No, you're saying that
No,
now
I
because you're not
definitely
a girl.
No, it's not even that. I just don't like using people. I've been used so
I mean,
much.
I'm not using people either, but I'm just saying that's
yeah,
I'm
like
not saying you are,
let's harken back to my situation and my conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that I, more than most anyone else, have reason to feel that this is a very inequitable, agreement we have between.
You definitely have
men
the shit
and
end of
women.
the stick.
But
for sure.
But in spite of all that, I'm still good with it, just to be honest, because I don't really know exactly why I am, but I guess I like having expectations of me, and I like there being this. I guess I just like having this role that I'm expected to play, that I've been taught, that because maybe because it feels right from the beginning of how I was raised and everything. But yeah, I still feel like it's okay. I don't mind, paying for the first date every time, in spite of the possibility that there's nothing, I'm not going to get anything out of it. That there's not even going to be a second date. I'm so good with that.
I have a problem
I'll
with
take
that.
the risk.
But
and
it's like, once you get in a relationship,
If I want to gamble, I'll go to casino.
so then don't take out girls on dates. That's your problem then.
That sounds like a you.
Yeah,
thing.
sounds like a you
Everybody
problem.
else is fine.
It's not, because what I'm talking about is equality. I'm talking about equality and
But I
fairness.
agree with you. I'm just saying I agree, but we can't change this now. That's kind of like.
I think it is starting to shift, but I think it's because there's like this whole generation that raised us, if you will, that's like saying, oh, this is how it is, that the man goes off to work and the lady stays at home in her little dress and cooks dinner and
It's
everything.
just gonna
but
take time
that's
to get out of that
changing.
mindset.
And we're
like,
just
yeah,
starting to be
exactly.
like, wait, this is changing. So I do agree to an extent that it is like the women have careers now. We can pay for ourselves. We can carry our own, but it's also nice to get a treat, if you will. That was a weird word to use, but
Transaction, you mean?
no.
Or no, spoiled. How about spoiled? They'll just spoil
And
me a little bit.
But that kind of goes back to the entitlement thing. Like, I do feel like there is an entitlement, but it's kind of ingrained in our brains,
Right,
and
it
in
is,
society.
and that's what and that's why I don't mind paying for dinners when I'm in like in a relationship. Like, I'll take 50-50, but just like when dating, like it's
when you're
just-
doing that first impression, it's
Yeah.
like, how do you want to come across? Like,
Right.
I don't mind chipping in, but it has to be, the tone and everything has to be set
right, exactly,
in advance.
right.
Why are there stipulations? Because if men put stipulations on it, let's be honest, they'd be like, I'm not paying unless I'm getting sex. Or a handy J. Or a little over the
Then
pants.
don't
sex.
take me out to dinner. Invite me over for Netflix. Like, that's a whole different vibe.
It's not waste my electricity on you? I'm just joking.
Wow. See? Wow.
I'm kidding.
Now you're
You already know I'm not-
Transaction there.
right.
You know I'm not cheap.
Transaction.
Wow. Wow. Are
What's
you
that?
gonna charge for gas too? I picked you up. $4.99. I picked you up. You owe me a gallon of gas.
We're keeping track. At
Yeah,
the
we're
end of the
keeping-
relationship, let's settle. Like,
Yeah, let's yeah.
See the way my savings account is
Just
set
for the
up?
Sorry,
record,
not
I am
sorry.
not in agreement with this. Just, yeah.
So do you plan on getting married again? Both of you?
Well, at first I didn't want to, because it was just so. It was like you said, your divorce took a year, my divorce took a year, and it just dragged out for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I don't want my past relationship to stop me either. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe like I'll be like married in church, but not on paper, like something like that. Well, but we'll see.
I wanted to get married the day I got divorced.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, see, because, I had this idea in my head of what a marriage could be and what it should be. And I didn't get that out of that marriage. And I was very, ready to move on and try again as soon as possible. I didn't care about the hurt or the fear or the whatever. I just this is
Looking
what
for
I
a
want.
future.
Yes. And so as a matter of fact, I got into a relationship with someone like a couple months after so this was while the divorce was still going on. A couple months after it was filed, I got into a relationship with someone, and this person and I were talking. We were talking about a month or 2 months into it about getting married, and we were using the term "when we're married," when we get married. So I was using those words like 2 or 3 months after, into the divorce, process. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, I think marriage is an awesome thing, and I'm.
All right, so part 2 of that question for both of you. Prenups, yes or no?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Glenn?
To me, yeah.
I'm surprised about that answer, actually. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm all about fairness, honestly,
Okay,
in relationships.
Mhm.
So it's like what I bring to the table, I hope you bring to the table too. So 50-50.
That was going to be one of my other questions. What do you bring to the table? But we'll come back to that maybe later or next show because we're running low on time.
Yeah,
And we have another super
It's past
chat.
my bedtime, 10 o'clock.
Jeez, Michael is dropping the super chat.
I have another beer, Glenn.
I think he's trying to buy his invite to your party.
Yeah,
So
I think he's in.
You're there, buddy.
I think he's in there.
You asked the question, prenups. Yes, I was actually thinking that at one point, but I don't know. I mean, I really should. If I'm smart, then I really should. Yeah, I want that, but I don't know.
Please be
It's-
smart, Glenn.
Yeah, just do it, just for your own sake, just
See,
in
I'm
case.
just,
You never know. Like you just never know.
or just don't get married in Alabama.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
Right.
well, yes.
Yeah.
This is
But
right.
even still, like, what if you start making more money, and now all of a sudden your love of your life is no longer? I thought my love of my life is my love of my life, and then he wasn't. So you never know.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So the smart answer, the right answer is yes.
You should do
There
it.
should be prenups,
You never know.
but I
just
have
never
not
know.
necessarily been the smartest of.
Now, I want to kick up a little bit of dust in Indre's face because I like messing with her. Ever since I've known her, I've liked messing with her.
I know you have.
So Glenn told me that he's seeing someone from a different country, was it?
What?
You're talking
This
to
is
or
news
you're
to me.
interested in?
Oh, yes.
You're interested in
Yes,
someone from a
that's
different
right.
country.
Yes.
And they're not a citizen yet. And I told you some things to be careful of. You remember that?
Yes.
So basically, I told Glenn, let her get her own citizenship, or let someone else marry her. Because what you've went through already with your ex-wife, you don't want to do the same thing again. I don't know if you guys have seen the TV show 90 Day Fiancé.
Yeah,
No?
but
I know it's not exactly the
It's-
same depending on the visas, but
yeah, but depending on the visas, also like not necessarily if you get married. Does she live in the country currently? Is she
Yes.
on a visa?
She does.
On like a work
She's
visa? Or?
on a work visa, I believe. Yes.
You gotta look into it because like my mom, like when we moved from Lithuania, my mom didn't just get her citizenship because she got married. We had a green card for 10 years, and then once it expired, we either have to renew it or apply for a citizenship. Just because my mom.
10-4.
Keep going.
He
You're
doesn't
doing
need
great.
me. He needs the whole thing.
I was like reading it. I was like,
Sorry, that was meant for notes. You were supposed to keep going. That was supposed to be done. Nobody else could see that.
but I'm just saying, just look into it because it's not necessarily 90-day fiance. If you're, I think like just there's different laws because if you're bringing somebody from another country, then if you get married within 90 days, then they can legally be in this country. But if you're already here on a green card, like my mom didn't get a citizenship just because she got married. She got married, and then 7 years later, she applied for citizenship. So it's not necessarily. I don't know.
I'm not saying
It's
that
not
it
necessarily
sounds like
that
I
case.
just.
I'm not saying for someone to use you in order to get a green
No,
card.
I know, but I'm just saying maybe it's not even that case. She might not be even
Right.
using you.
So, yeah.
But what I'm
the
getting-
moral of the story is I just need to ask questions.
Right, exactly.
If I'm-
There's
Communication.
Yeah, exactly.
Communication.
Yes.
Communication.
Because based on what I was kind of getting at was, I don't know the laws exactly, but based off of the show, kind of, if you marry someone who is from a different country or you bring them here, whatever, I think you're legally bound to them for X amount of time.
Yes, you are, because you have to take care of them, because then they are jobless and whatever. Then you have to take care of them. But that's bringing them from that doesn't sound like that. I don't know.
No, she's already here,
Exactly.
so it's different.
And
So it's
has
the-
been here for some
Exactly.
number of years.
My
now.
mom, yeah, this was the same thing. That's why it's 90-day fiance. They're coming from the country directly. They have 90 days to get married, and then they get
And for the ratings.
Right,
Let's just be honest for a
exactly.
second. It's all for the ratings.
exactly, yeah. But just different laws
Okay, good to know. Yeah, so it's been a productive talk.
for sure.
Learned a lot of things. Had some laughs. Had some drinks. And we had some super chats. Thanks.
Yeah, Michael Mason has been blowing it up.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks, babe.
I'm gonna watch out.
Thanks for
Maybe
making
after,
us
Glenn.
famous.
He might have found his love.
We'll fight. It's fine.
Maybe you should interview them too.
Yeah, I'd love to have them on, both of them on again.
Yeah,
So you guys can be regulars if you want to.
regulars.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Indre's leaving us, so
Yeah, Vegas.
we'll have to do.
But we could do virtually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do it through the magic of the
Or you
internet.
just blow up the chat like that.
Exactly.
But so yeah, thanks for joining everybody. Everyone online, everyone here. So it's a quick goodbye from everybody. Go ahead and mention your social medias or a cause you guys are passionate about or anything like that. Anything you guys want to say, now's the time to say it.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram, Indre_Ignite, for some fitness tips and just getting your fire back on.
There you go.
Yeah.
And Glenn, go ahead.
I don't know. I have no causes except, I'll have to say the metric system. Conversion to the metric system. That's what everyone should be supporting for me, I guess.
And I'm sorry, before I get to you, Kara. Glenn, you're having your Glenn Independence Day. I know you say you're having it at a friend's house, but you plan on going out? Because maybe some people in D.C. who might want to buy you some drinks. So
Yeah,
is there a
actually,
venue?
yeah, I'll be I have no concrete plans but I probably am going to go out afterwards. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, look for Glenn in D.C. Was it June 30th?
July 3rd.
July 3rd. All right. Look for Glenn.
Look for Glenn.
Yeah. He looks kind of like Norman Reedus without the long, dirty hair. So, but the
Yeah, I'm liking that. Yeah.
yeah, the ladies they like the Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
Kara?
Just keep being you and keep talking. That communication piece is so important.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it is.
Communication's key, and knowing's half the battle.
No,
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe.
Solid.
And I have no words of wisdom for you guys, but just want to say thanks again. Go ahead, like, comment, share, subscribe, go on the channel. Indre's going to be starting her channel soon here too. Going to be helping her with that to get it going. So keep a lookout for our channel for when her channel starts.
Yes.
And that's it. All right, good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.